Good afternoon, welcome to Final Score on a day when there is both league and cup football going on, so there will be plenty for Garth, Crooks and Gary Pallister to get their teeth into. They're already shocked about something that's going on. We'll find out about that in just a second, but first let me give you what's going on at the moment in the Barclays Premier League. Second half goals from Piquion and Berami look like giving bottom of the table West Ham only their second win of the season. Blackburn, a 2-1 up on Wigan. Goals from Morton Gams Pedersen and Jason Roberts gave the home side those. Wigan have pulled one back, though we think it's through Charles Nzogby. As you can see, Birmingham are back level now with West Ham. We'll give you details of that goal in a second. It's Blackpool 2, Everton 2. The home side have been ahead twice there. Everton pulled them back both times. Bolton 4, Spurs 2. That's the result. That kicked off at lunchtime. Kevin Davies scored twice for the home side. Mark Albrighton ended Aston Villa's 6-hour goal drought at Craven Cottage. Having beaten Manchester City, Wolves now holding Manchester United at Old Trafford. The former United trainee Sylvain Ebanks-Blake has got the equaliser there. And Sunderland's club record signing Asamoah Gyan has marked his full league debut with the only goal of the game so far. Sunderland have missed a penalty in that game, and there are all sorts of arguments going on about a possible Stoke goal. Celtic are now 8-0 up on Aberdeen. Gary Hooper has hit a hat-trick. Both sides are down to 10 men. No goals yet at the New Douglas Park, where Hamilton are pressing for their first home win of the season. Third place, Motherwell are heading for all 3 points against Inverness. Thanks to goals from Alan Gow and Nick Blackman, and Michael Dewberry own goal means Kilmarnock are heading for back-to-back away wins against St Johnstone. It is a very, very busy afternoon with plenty going on. We begin at Old Trafford, where Wolves are holding Manchester United. David Garrido.
This is one apiece at the moment, Mark. Could United be about to drop points again in the Premier League? Ji-sung Park put them ahead at the end of a forgettable first half, slotting home after a pinpoint pass from Darren Fletcher. The Wolves equaliser came from a man who'd only been on the pitch a few minutes. The impressive Matt Jarvis laying off for Nenad Milias, his shot rebounding to sub Sylvain Ebanks-Blake, and he showed quicker reactions than Nemanja Vidic. Ebanks-Blake finishing well. It's 24 years since Alex Ferguson took charge here at Old Trafford. He recalled Owen Hargreaves for his first start since September 2008, but more frustration from the midfielder. Hargreaves trudging off with a hamstring injury after barely 5 minutes. We've got, 14 minutes left to play here. It's United 1, Wolves 1.
And also the man that came on for Owen Hargreaves was Bebe, and he's just been substituted himself for Paul Scholes. Norwich have pulled one back against Burnley in the Championship. Chris Martin with that goal. Martin Patterson got both for Burnley. In the FA Cup first round, the leaders of the Blue Square Premier, Crawley Town, 5-0 up on Guiseley. Accrington Stanley, who were 3-0 up on Oldham, are being clawed back. Dale Stevens from the penalty spot for Oldham with 15 minutes to go. That's a relegation battle in the Championship. Bristol City 1, Preston 1, an own goal from Billy Jones. Inverness have pulled one back on Motherwell through Stuart Duff, and Tommy Smith has got QPR's third against Reading. QPR, if they win, will go to the top of the Championship this evening. Cardiff don't play until tomorrow against Swansea, a game you can see on BBC One. Ivan Gaskell's had an all-action second half at St Andrews. Here he is to tell you about it.
Yes, and what a closing quarter of an hour we have in prospect here. A quite superb second half here. It really has burst into life. And Liam Ridgewell, I'm told, is a former West Ham trainee who was rejected by West Ham as a youngster. Well, he's come back to haunt them here. This game looked dead and buried. West Ham very impressive today. We're 2-0 up. Piquion and Ballon Berami had scored two identikit goals in the second half. And they looked in command of it, in control. They haven't won away in the league in 23 matches. They looked to have this one sealed, but Birmingham thought differently. That goal prompted them into life, and as we speak, Zigic just drags one wide. Cameron Jerome first drags Birmingham kicking and screaming back into it, and now Ridgewell, after Larson's free kick was really well saved by Robert Green, was alert enough to tuck away the rebound. We really do have quite a finish on our hands here. 14 to go, terrific stuff, 2-2.
Another game where it's all happened in the second half in the Premier League is Blackburn Wigan. Steve Lees at Ewood Park.
Yes, it's Blackburn 2, Wigan 1. We could also have a very interesting 13 or 14 minutes left here at Ewood Park. It was a really dismal first half, as dismal as the grey skies above Ewood Park now. Charles Nzogby, though, scored what he thought was a perfectly good goal. I think Wigan thought that also. It was disallowed, and in the second half, Blackburn scored twice. Once from Morton Gamp's Pedersen, a 40-yard free kick which sailed over Ali Habsi's head in the Wigan goal. And then Jason Roberts, with a suspicion perhaps of offside, made it 2-0. But Nzolba's just pulled one back. Absolutely superb free kick from outside the box, hit the post, beat Robinson 2-1. The game is getting interesting.
Look at that, Forest Green 0, Northampton 3. Looks like the League Two side are going through there in the FA Cup. Hamilton in the SPL, who haven't won all season at home, are down to Dundee United. David Goodwillie, who else, with 14 minutes to go. We'll find out about Middlesbrough's equaliser against Crystal Palace in just a few moments, but let's go to Bloomfield Road. James Mason.
Blackpool 2, Everton 2. A match still too close to call, Chappers, although the visitors have enjoyed the lion's share of possession despite going behind twice early on in both halves. A superb free kick from Blackpool's Neil Aidley on his 22nd birthday opened the scoring before Tim Cahill levelled with a powerful close-range header to make it 1-1 at half-time. Within minutes of the restart, Blackpool were ahead again as David Vaughan's persistence in the box gave him the chance to smash home past Tim Howard. But Everton are a team in form, remember, and it was their right winger Seamus Coleman, who played on loan for Blackpool last year, who restored parity after racing through on goal. It's pouring down. Jermaine Beckford has a chance to score for Everton, but it's fantastically saved by the Blackpool goalkeeper, the defender, should I say. It's Blackpool 2, Everton 2.
Tony Pulis and Stoke fans have had reason this season to claim that refereeing decisions haven't gone in their favour. And you will be hearing more of the same after their game at Sunderland. Steve Sutton.
Yes, Chav, there's no guessing what Pulis' main topic is going to be in his after-match press conference. The game heading into its final quarter. A Kenwyne Jones header flying towards the top corner. Cattermole on the line. Some debate about did the ball cross the line? If it didn't cross the line, did Cattermole keep it out with his arm? You could argue a case for both of those. Definitely an arm in contact with the ball. Quite probably over the line anyway. From the resulting corner from that, another Kenwyne Jones header, this time cleared off the line again by Cattermole. And when I say off the line, it really was on the line. It's still Sunderland 1, Stoke 0.
Barry Call's 6th of the season means Southend are now level with Macclesfield in the FA Cup. 2-2 there. Wesley Thomas 8th of the season means Cheltenham lead Morecambe late on in that cup tie. 1-0 to the home side there. Final Premier League game that we haven't been to at Craven Cottage. Fulham Villa. John Anderson.
Fulham 0, Aston Villa 1. 6,025 minutes after scoring their last Premier League goal, Villa found the net, and it could turn out to be the winner here. Brilliantly scored by Mark Albrighton, who drifted in from the right-hand side and placed it beautifully into the corner of the net. They could have doubled that lead. Albrighton himself and Nathan Delfonso went close in the second half. Fulham have only just woken up, really. A couple of subs on, Andy Johnson and Damien Duff. Both players coming back from injury, both unable to get an equaliser. It's Fulham 0, Aston Villa 1.
Garth, you've been doing your nut at the Sunderland-Stoke match, and Tony Pulis will have every right to complain tomorrow morning.
I think the referee's got it terribly wrong. Kenwyne Jones wins a perfectly good header. Cattermole keeps the ball out of the goal, but only by his arm.
His arm goes up, doesn't it?
His arm goes up. He keeps the ball out of the goal. The referee gives a goal kick. And I've got to say to you, sorry, a corner.
I think it might actually be in the goal, Garth. I mean, the linesman's got a good view of it, and I think
it's either a goal or a penalty for handball, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is.
He gives neither, and that's the big issue. I mean, Tony Pulis will be going mental.
And quite rightly so. They've had some shocking decisions against them this season. And let's be honest, luck doesn't even itself out over a whole season.
And to compound it as well, straight from the next corner, after he gives the corner, Kenwyne Jones heads it again. This time it's cleared off the line by Cattermole again, who could be, I suppose, be sent off for deliberate handball, possibly.
What's also very interesting, very quickly, Mark, is that, I mean, West Ham, having played so well against Arsenal last week, get nothing. They were at Birmingham, they were up, I think, 2-0. They come back 2-2. They could be losing it this way. They played another great game, and they could be throwing it away. They're hanging on by a thread.
It's an incident-packed... It's an incident-packed afternoon in the Premier League. And a red card has come out at the Stadium of Light, and if Tony Pulis wasn't angry before, then good grief, he's going to be angry now. Steve Sutton.
Well, I think if this game was played last night, Mark, he'd have taken off like one of those Guy Fawkes rockets. Ryan Shawcross, his skipper's second yellow card, red. He's walked off. He brought down, I think it was Gian, as he was racing towards the box. A red card. It goes from bad to worse for Stoke City, and Tony Pulis still 1-0 to Sunderland.
Do you think that was a sending off?
He's dangled the foot in.
He has dangled the foot.
I don't think I don't think he's deliberately. He's in full floor, Gian, isn't he?
Is he suggesting it's a goal-scoring opportunity?
No, there's plenty of defence. I think he's just giving it.
It's his
it's a
second
foul.
card.
It's one of. I don't think there's anything malicious by it. But he's dangled the foot in there and he's brought him down in full floor. So it looks worse than it probably actually is.
He's going to be furious, Tony, Pulis, because, I mean, I'm looking at him now and he really is working very hard to keep his composure. He's sided on the rack. I mean, he defended the free kick very, very well, but you're quite right, Mark. Stoke have had some terrible decisions gone against them today.
Port Vale have got a much-needed equaliser against Dartford. 64 places between them in the pyramid of Football League and non-league, and they've got an equaliser through John McCoon. Dartford had been leading by 1-0. Goals ahoy in Celtic this afternoon at Celtic Park. 8 of them last time we heard. And all for the home side, Ian Turner.
Yeah, Mark, get ready for number 9 because the referee has just pointed to the penalty spot. You were talking there about 64 places between teams. You would think there were 64 places between Celtic and Aberdeen. Celtic will be going back top, and that was clear by half-time. By then, Neil Lennon's side led 4-0 through a brace of penalties from Anthony Stokes and a well-taken double from Gary Hooper. Before Hooper completed his hat-trick, Don's substitute, Josh McGuinness, headed past his own keeper. Joe Ledley gets 7, then Stokes completed his hat-trick. And it looks as if it's going to be 9 for Celtic because substitute Paddy McCourt is about to take this penalty right-footed. Up he comes now with the right foot, slams it into the back of the net. It is Celtic 9, Aberdeen 0, and Mark McGee is in big trouble.
Yeah, there's an understatement if ever there was one. Celtic's record SPL win, we believe. Gary Madine's 4th of the afternoon means Carlisle leave Tipton Town by 6-0. Bradford have got one back against Colchester. James Hansen, 11 minutes from time. Luton have now equalised against Corby. That was Conference North against Conference. So no shock now. Matthew Barnes-Homer, 7 minutes from time. To another game in the SPL. 3rd against 4th. Inverness versus Motherwell. Brian McLaughlin.
It's Cali Thistle 1, Motherwell 2. Motherwell with 2 first-half goals through Alan Gow and Nick Blackman, seemingly cruising to victory, but 15 minutes from time, Stuart Duff, a tremendous 25-yard shot that drifted beyond the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. It's all Cali Thistle now as they push for an equaliser. 6 minutes left. Cali Thistle 1, Motherwell 2.
Going to give you all the details of the lunchtime kick-off now. Bolton against Spurs at the Reebok, finished 4-2 to the home side. Here's Guy Mowbray. 2-0 up now on Gateshead. Luke Rogers, Kilmarnock leads St Johnstone. Connor Salmon with their second goal. Michael Dewberry own goal, their first one. There's been a goal at the Riverside. It was 1-1 between Middlesbrough and Crystal Palace in the relegation battle. Who's got it, Naz Premji?
It's an own goal and Middlesbrough lead here. Middlesbrough 2, Crystal Palace 1 across from the right-hand side. And the unfortunate Palace defender is Patrick McCarthy, steering the ball past Julian Speroni, and the Riverside is bouncing ever since they've come on in the second half. Tony Mowbray's galvanised his team and they deserve their lead. It's Middlesbrough 2, Crystal Palace 1.
Gets worse, doesn't it, for Tony Pulis? Asamoah Gyan, 4 minutes from time. Steve Sutton, tell us about it.
Yes, it's Sunderland 2, Stoke City 0. It's come in the 85th minute. A great run down the left from Kieran Richardson, a substitute who came on a few moments ago. His ball into the box. It was deflected into the path of Gian. He was just inside the box and he hammered the ball into the bottom corner of the net. Sunderland 2, Stoke City 0.
Chelmsford 3-1 up on Hendon in the FA Cup first round. Terry Skiverton's Yeovil have taken the lead against Rushden and Diamonds. Andrew Williams, that's Conference against League One. 7 minutes to go there. QPR could be heading back to the top of the Championship tonight. Andy Barwell.
Well, it's a tremendous game here. QPR, they're 3-1 ahead. Adil Tarap gave them the advantage. A cheekily taken penalty, but they were down to 10 men just before the break. Bradley Orr for a challenge on Hal Ravsing-Kanu. Neil Warnock's side, though, have worked really hard in this second half, following good work between Tommy Smith and Tarab. Alessandro Forlan was there to finish off a terrific move. A glimmer of hope for Reading. A rasping shot 25 yards out from Shane Long found the top corner of the net, only for Smith to respond within minutes, despite an initial top-notch save from Federici. QPR 3, Reading 1.
Been plenty of goals for Tony Colliver at the Ricoh Arena this afternoon. He's watching Coventry Leeds.
Certainly have. Coventry 2, Leeds 3. Terrific game here. Leeds sailed into a 2-0 lead at the breakthrough. Jonathan Howson and Robert Snodgrass goals. In Coventry pulled one back through Lucas Jukovic. Max Gradle then converted a penalty for the visitors. And then finally, Coventry struck again from Ben Turner. Coventry's greatest record league attendance ever, 28,000. Coventry 2, Leeds 3.
Burnley haven't won away in the Championship so far this season, but that might change this afternoon at Carrow Road. Robin Bailey.
Yes, they're 2-1 up at the moment, chappers. No doubt about that. They dominated the first half. Terrific performance with 2 Martin Patterson goals, but Chris Martin has got Norwich back into this. The crowd are in ferment. It's 24,500 here, and it could still go 2-2. Terrific game.
All square at Vicarage Road. Either side looking like they might snatch a late winner, Mark Bishop.
It's going to be 1-1, Chappers. Watford 1, Forest 1. Billy Davis's side on top. They can't find a way past Watford keeper Scott Loach. Earnshaw on Blackstock. Blackstock working very hard. And what a cross it was from Blackstock on the right-hand side. Tyson flashing a header just wide. Goal of the game. I tell you what, Lewis McGugan's 25-yard thunderbolt. It'll make good viewing tonight on the Football League show. We're still playing, and it's Watford 1, Nottingham Forest 1.
Go straight to Oakwell, where Maya Banjika tells about Andy King's 6th of the season for Leicester.
Yep, and it came at a time where Leicester were just about dominating. Gallagher on the left-hand side played his ball across to Andy King at the back post. All he had to do was tap in. Sven-Göran Eriksson will be happy. Leicester lead by 2-0.
A Crew coming back to stop a shock. Their conference side Tamworth were 2-0 up. Ashley Westwood, 2 minutes from time, has given the League Two side hope. Right then, let's take a look at a big event coming your way in December here on the BBC.
I grew up watching this TV programme. To be up there it's unbelievable.
And we've now got additional tickets for the BBC Sports Personality of the Year live show. If you want to be part of the star-studded audience at Birmingham's LG Arena, then all you've got to do, visit the website bbc.co.uk/sportpersonality. It's on the 19th of December. Scunthorpe have taken the lead at Hull. Last gasp goal for Michael O'Connor. That's in the Championship. Torquay ahead against Blue Square Premier side Mansfield. Elliot Benyon, 3 minutes from time. Ryan Giggs, Sports Personality of the Year last year. Let's find out how his side are doing at Old Trafford, where for a lot of the time today they've been outplayed by Wolves. David Garrido.
I think that's absolutely right, Mark. Yes, still 1-1. We're into injury time. United just throwing everything they can forward, but I would say the visitors with a real chance to win this game. Kevin Doyle running at Rio Ferdinand, crossed the ball. Vidic headed out straight to Michael Mancienne. He knocked it across for Stephen Fletcher on his left foot, on the half volley. Got it totally wrong over the bar. By the way, we've spotted Robert Plant, lead singer of Led Zeppelin, in the director's box. He's a Wolves fan. I suspect he might be enjoying this. It's Man United 1, Wolves 1.
Now, you know you've had a bad day, don't you, when your opponent's score has had to be spelled out on the video printer as it's gone through. Celtic 9, Aberdeen 0. Mark McGee in big trouble, Ian Turner.
It certainly is, and to be honest, Mark, it could have been more. 3 goals for Gary Hooper, 3 goals for Anthony Stokes, 2 from the penalty spot, 1 from Joe Ledley, a penalty from Paddy McCourt, and an own goal from Josh McGuinness. I think I've covered them all there. Celtic in control by half-time, 4-0 up. Aberdeen's Paul Hartley and Thomas Ronja sent off in the first half. That opened up the space. What a way for Celtic to return to the top of the SPL. This was a humiliating defeat for Aberdeen, and with pressure, as you suggested, already on manager Mark McGee, quite clearly, without stating the obvious, this can only add to it. Celtic 9, Aberdeen 0.
Droylsden lead Havant and Waterlooville 2-0 in the FA Cup first round. Conference South against Conference North. There's been a late goal at Old Trafford. David Garrido.
And it's gone to the home side. Mick McCarthy can barely face the pitch. He does not deserve this because his Wolves side have played ever so well, but Jason Park with his second goal of the game, cutting in from the right-hand side, and he pushed his shot just inside Marcus Hanneman's near post. Manchester United look to have nicked the points here. United 2, Wolves 1.
The goal went in, and Garth, you went, they always get a late goal.
Yeah, but push him on the outside. You let him come inside in the box, and they don't double bank. There's only, 4 minutes to go. So they get what they deserve in the end.
So he's coming in from the right.
He's coming in from the right.
He's coming in on his left foot.
Yeah,
and you should show him the touchline.
Show him the touchline. Move him away from the goal.
He's trying to. I mean, they're trying to block the cross. He sells him 2 dummies in the box, and then he doesn't even get a great shot on it, but it beats Hanneman at the near post.
And Wolves don't deserve that.
No, they've played ever so well. They had a great chance about 10 minutes ago, about 7 or 8 yards out, and the lads placed it over the bar, but you can see Mick.
McCarthy's wild with fury.
Yeah.
Wild with
He's
fury.
just kicked something and it very nearly hit fourth referee Mark Halsey.
And I understand his annoyance because they've worked so hard. For the best part of the game, probably the better side?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been a really disjointed performance from United.
The old man has done it for Wycombe. Gareth Ainsworth right on full time, giving them the lead at Hayes and Yedding, the conference strugglers. Looks like Gary Waddock's side are going through. The full-time whistle starting to be blown at games around the country. It has gone at Ewood Park. Steve Lee with all the details on Blackburn's win over Wigan.
Yes, Blackburn 2, Wigan 1. Never mind the quality field of 3 points. That'll be Sam Allardyce's view of a fluctuating Lancashire relegation scrap that could easily have gone Wigan's way. Charles Nzogbia scored what looked like a perfectly good Wigan goal in a dismal first half, only for referee Kevin Friend to chalk it off. In the much improved second half, Blackburn took full advantage. Morton Gabb's Pedersen sent in a searing 40-yard free kick that sailed over the flapping Ali Habsi's head. Then Jason Roberts finished off an excellent Blackburn move to make it 2-0. Perhaps a suspicion of offside about that. And Godbeer's cracking free kick made it 2-1. But Blackburn held on for the points. Blackburn 2, Wigan 1.
And I think now we might...
Players have given the home side all 3 points. Jason Park giving United the lead at the end of the first half, edged by Wolves. Darren Fletcher with the assist there. Wolves equalising when substitute Sylvain Ebanks-Blake fired home. The impress from the right, as you heard there from Gary Pallister. 2 little dummies, fired home left-footed, inside Marcus Hanneman's near post. And that's a very, very lucky 3 points, I would say, for Manchester United. United 2, Wolves 1, the final score.
You've been seeing it going through. Late equaliser for Norwich against Burnley and a late goal. It looks like the winner, David Connolly, scoring for Southampton against Shrewsbury in the FA Cup. And there's been a late goal at Craven Cottage where Aston Villa were 1-0 up. John Anderson.
They're not anymore, Chappers. It's 1-1. The final whistle has blown and Breda Hangeland has managed to get a point for Fulham with virtually the last touch of the game. A free kick on the left-hand side, floated in by Danny Murphy, and the big defender got the faintest of...
Dover winning an ill-tempered Kent derby 2-0 against Gillingham. Tamworth have knocked Crewe out 2-1. Southampton has scored a second in the 90th minute. Adam Lallana leads Shrewsbury by 2-0. Here are the full-time pictures of Blackpool against Everton. I should warn you, you might see a topless Marlon Harewood during this. James Mason can tell us about the goals.
I've got my top on, Mark. A game that could have gone either way, but in truth, one in which Everton had enough chances to win a string of Premier League matches and in the end had to settle for a point and had to come back from behind twice in both halves. Blackpool took an early lead through centre-back Neil Eardley, the surprise taker of a free kick 25 yards out that beat Tim Howard at full stretch. The lead, however, lasted only minutes as Everton poured forward through Tim Cahill, powering home a Yakubu cross to level matters at half-time. And within minutes of the restart, Blackpool regained the lead. David Vaughan profiting from some poor defending to smash home his first of the season. But Everton came back again. This time the impressive Seamus Coleman terrorising the Blackpool defence all afternoon. Both sides had chances to take all 3 points, but without success. It ended Blackpool 2, Everton 2.
Marlon Harewood is massive. The Stadium of Light next, where Sunderland have beaten Stoke. But that's really only half the story, Steve Sutton.
Well, yes, it is, Chabbers. The reaction that Steve Bruce would have wanted after last weekend's Derby Day drubbing. Sunderland took the lead in the first half through Asamoah Gyan's shot. Then Gyan got a penalty for Sunderland, but Steed Mulbranch missed it. 1-0 at half-time, but then the drama started in the second half. 71 minutes, Kenwyn Jones for Stoke with a header destined for the top corner. Lee Catamole clearing off the line, or was it already in the net, or did Catamole use his arm? You could make a case for both of them. Then from the resulting corner to add insult to injury, Catamole again clearing another Jones header off the line. 5 minutes from time with Stoke down to 10 men. Richardson broke down the left, crossed for Gyan, and he got his second and notched 3 points for Sunderland. Sunderland 2, Stoke 0, but plenty of talking points.
Into the Championship, where there was a dramatic finish between the bottom two, Naz Premji.
Middlesbrough 2, Crystal Palace 1. Tony Mowbray gets his first win as Boro boss in a real game of two halves. The visitors in control in the first 45. Pablo Canyago's close range strike gave them the lead at the break. Tony Mowbray rang the changes at the break, and then they were camped in the Palace half. Subtomo kinked with a scorcher from just inside the box to level, and then Patrick McCarthy, ill-advised, put past his own keeper Julian Speroni. It's a first win then for Mogger & Co. Tony Mowbray against his former boss and mentor George Burley. At the bottom it's finished Middlesbrough 2, Crystal Palace 1.
Let's go straight to the Rico, where playoff-placed Coventry were taking on 12th-placed Leeds. Tony Collins.
Yes, Coventry 2, Leeds 3, full-time. Coventry's biggest ever league attendance witnessed a cracking game here and 5 goals. Leeds bossed the first half and led through Howson and Snodgrass goals at half-time. Coventry replied through a Jukovic strike before Gradle converted a penalty to increase the visitors' leads. To make things very interesting near the end, Ben Turner pulled a goal back for City, but it wasn't enough for them. Coventry 2, Leeds 3.
And to the Keepmoat next, Drew Savage watched Doncaster Millwall.
Doncaster came from behind for a well-earned win here at the Keepmoat, and Northern Ireland international David Healy enjoyed a good debut on loan from Sunderland, and his first goal in 19 months gave Rovers the lead after James Hayter's second-half equaliser. Steve Morrison scored for Millwall in embarrassing circumstances for Doncaster keeper Neil Sullivan, who let a Kevin Lisby effort slip through his fingers, but Sullivan more than made up for that with a couple of excellent saves in the second half. Doncaster just about shaded it. Doncaster 1, Doncaster 2, Millwall 1.
It was fourth against third in the SPL this afternoon. Inverness against Motherwell, and the away side were victorious. Brian McLaughlin.
They were. It was Cali 1, Motherwell 2, so Craig Brown's side maintained their third place spot in the SPL, but had to withhold a second half fight back from Cali. Thistle, Gow and Blackman the scorers in the first half for Motherwell. Stuart Duff gave Cali fans hope with 15 minutes left, a terrific 25-yard strike, and Shane Hutchison almost grabbed a point for the home side. His shot inches past Dan Rondell's post. It finished Cali 1, Motherwell 2.
New leaders in the Championship this evening. Andy Barwell can tell us about QPR's win over Reading.
Queen's Park Rangers have ended a run of 4 successive defeats with a hard-fought 3-1 win over Reading in this feisty encounter at Loftus Road. Neil Warnock will be delighted with his side. The fact that they played the whole of the second half with 10 men barely seemed noticeable. Forlan extended their lead to make it 2, although Long got one back for Reading. Tommy Smith re-established the home side's 2-goal advantage. So QPR are top at least for 24 hours, with Cardiff not in action until tomorrow. Queen's Park Rangers 3, Reading 1.
All the reaction on the games to come, but as we approach 5 o'clock here on BBC Two, let's get the classified football results with Tim Gudgin.
In the Barclays Premier League, Birmingham City 2, West Ham United 2. Blackburn Rovers 2, Wigan Athletic 1. Blackpool 2, Everton 2. Bolton Wanderers 4, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Fulham 1, Aston Villa 1. Manchester United 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Sunderland 2, Stoke City 0. The Empire Championship, Barnsley 0, Leicester City 2. Bristol City 1, Preston North End 1. Coventry City 2, Leeds United 3. Derby County and Portsmouth have an evening kick-off in about 20 minutes' time. Doncaster Rovers 2, Millwall 1. Hull City 0, Scunthorpe United 1. Middlesbrough 2, Crystal Palace 1. Norwich City 2, Burnley 2. Queen's Park Rangers 3, Reading 1. Sheffield United 1, Ipswich Town 2. Watford 1, Nottingham Forest 1. In the first round of the FA Cup, sponsored by Eon, Accrington Stanley 3, Oldham Athletic 2. AFC Bournemouth 5, Tranmere Rovers 3. AFC Wimbledon 0, Ebbsfleet United 0. Barnet 0, Charlton Athletic 0. Brentford 1, Aldershot Town 1. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Woking 0. Bury 2, Exeter City 0. Cambridge United and Huddersfield Town kick off at 5:30. Carlisle United 6, Tipton Town 0. Chelmsford City 3, Hendon 2 is the latest score. Cheltenham Town 1, Morecambe 0. Colchester United 4, Bradford City 3. Continuing the FA Cup, Corby Town 1, Luton Town 1. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Leyton Orient 1. Darlington 2, Bristol Rovers 1. Dartford 1, Port Vale 1. Fleetwood Town 1, Walsall 1. Forest Green Rovers 0, Northampton Town 3. Gillingham 0, Dover Athletic 2. Guiseley 0, Crawley Town 5. Harrowborough 0, Chesterfield 2. Hartlepool United 0, Vauxhall Motors 0. Havant and Waterlooville 0, Droylsden 2. Hayes and Yeading United 1, Wycombe Wanderers 2. And more cup results: Hereford United 5, Hythe Town 1. Lincoln City 1, Nuneaton Town 0. Macclesfield Town 2, Southend United 2. Mansfield Town 0, Torquay United 1. Notts County 2, Gateshead 0. Plymouth Argyle 0, Swindon Town 4. Rotherham United 0, York City 0. Rushton and Diamonds 0, Yeovil Town 1. Southampton 2, Shrewsbury Town 0. Stevenage 0, Milton Keynes Dons 0. Stockport County 1, Peterborough United 1. Swindon Supermarine 2, Eastwood Town 1. And one further result: Tamworth 2, Crewe Alexandra 1. In the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Celtic 9, Aberdeen 0. Hamilton Academical 0, Dundee United 1. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1, Motherwell 2. St Johnstone 0, Kilmarnock 3. In the Iron Brews Scottish Division 1, Cowdenbeath 5, Stirling Albion 1. Dundee 2, Partick Thistle 1. Falkirk 0, Ross County 1. Greenock Morton 2, Dunfermline Athletic 1. Wraith Rovers 0, Queen of the South 1. In Scottish Div 2, Ayr United 1, Airdrie United 0. East 5 4, Alloa Athletic 1. Forfar Athletic 1, Peterhead 1. Livingston 2, Dumbarton 0. Stenhouse Muir 0, Brechin City 0. And Scottish Div 3, Arbroath 3, Berwick Rangers 2. Clyde 1, East Stirlingshire 2. Elgin City 2, Annan Athletic 0. Montrose 0, Albion Rovers 2. And Queen's Park 1, Stranraer 3. In the Carling Premiership, Ballymena United 3, Glenavon 3. Coleraine 3, Cliftonville 1. Donegal Celtic 3, Dungannon Swifts 4. And Glentoran 3, Crusaders 1.
8 minutes to go in this game. In the FA Cup, Chelmsford lead Hendon by 3-2. In the Rugby Union today, England were beaten 26-16 by New Zealand. You see highlights on BBC 3 at 7:30 this evening on BBC 3, or 11:30 tomorrow morning on 2. Here on 2 after us, it's Ireland against South Africa. Kicks off at 5:30. And Australia beat Wales 25-16. Let's have a look at the tables for you. In the Premier League, it's as follows. Manchester United now split Chelsea and Arsenal after that late win against Wolves. Chelsea and Arsenal play tomorrow, as do Manchester City. Bolton and Sunderland move into the top half. West Ham have narrowed the gap to second bottom Wolves. Wigan are into the relegation zone. Stoke are just above them on goal difference. Blackburn, the only winners in the bottom half of the table. QPR ended a run of 4 straight draws by beating Reading 3-1, so they're back on top. Cardiff could replace them if they beat Swansea tomorrow lunchtime. Ipswich up to 5th after winning at Sheffield United. At the bottom, Middlesbrough beat Crystal Palace to give Tony Mowbray his first win since taking charge. They're still in the relegation zone, as are Bristol City, who drew 1-1 with Preston. Hull 5th bottom after losing at home to Scunthorpe. Celtic back on top of the SPL after thumping Aberdeen 9-0. Rangers will go back to the top if they win at St Mirren tomorrow. Third place Motherwell won at Inverness. Kilmarnock are 7th after winning at St Johnstone. In the First Division, leaders Wraith beaten at home by Queen of the South, but they remain a point clear because Morton beat Dunfermline. It means that Morton are off the foot of the table and replaced by Stirling Albion. Livingston's 2-0 win against Dumbarton takes them to the top of the table. Peterhead's draw at Forfar leaves Dumbarton 3 adrift. And Stranraer remain 2 points clear at the top of Division 3 after winning 3-1 at Queen's Park. Clyde stay bottom after losing to East Stirlingshire. Here are the headlines from a very busy afternoon in the Premier League. Dazzled against the Orsians, the man for Sunderland, the striker and musician, drums up a couple of goals on his full league debut for the club. Ryan Shawcross is sent off for Stoke and they're denied a goal when Lee Catamol handles on the line. Villa got their first. Birmingham are never going to get at home to Wigan after overcoming their near neighbours. Jason Roberts gets the winner against his former team. And Blackpool let the lead slip twice against Everton. Seamus Coleman earned a point with the fourth and final goal of an entertaining contest. Match of the day this evening on BBC One at 10:20. Thank you very much to Garth and Gary. It's been a very busy afternoon. Manchester United get a late winner. Stoke get a dodgy decision. Some things don't change in the Premier League.